Still January and it's still cold. Some of the places are really having some real cold weather, lots of snow as well. And so this is the month that we think about warm, comfortable food to eat, and naturally soups come to mind. Today I want to teach you how to make a good homemade lentil soup. We're going to start with a package of dry lentils. They come in a plastic package like this, and this is a pound of lentils. You need to rinse them and pick through them. Sometimes there might be some unfinished lentils. They'll be like a light yellow color, and sometimes there are little pebbles in there. Very rare do I find that, but still it even tells you on the package to rinse and pick through well. So these have been rinsed. I rinsed them before we started, and I'm going to let that stay and drain. The base of our lentil soup is a typical base for vegetable soups. Celery, carrots, onion, garlic, parsley. And we're going to use some meat flavoring, and I'm going to use about 1/4 pound of ham, and that's about, I'd say, about 1/2 inch thick that I got from the deli, maybe 1/4 inch. You could also use bacon, and you can also use Canadian bacon, or you can go meatless and use no meat in it. In fact, my mother didn't put any meat in it, but I like a little bit of the flavoring of the ham. So we're going to chop our ham in little tiny cubes. I trim off the skin, and then we're going to just go down and slice it, turn it around, and give it some little tiny chop throughs. Okay? Meantime, I've chopped up 1 small onion, 2 carrots. The celery, I bought the celery purposely to have as much leaves on it. The leaves give a lot of flavoring in soup. So we want to save the leaves. I've washed the celery. I'm just going to chop through the top and down through the stalk. And I'd say that that's probably about 2 cups of chopped celery and leaves. Garlic is very important in lentil soup to give it some flavoring. So we have 3 large cloves of minced garlic and 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. I have my soup pot on, medium. Going to add about 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Generally how I judge how much oil I want to use. I try to just coat the bottom of a non-stick pan with some oil. And once it's coated at the bottom, I feel that's plenty. Let that heat up. Here's my chopped ham. I'm going to add that. This would be the time that you would do the bacon if you want bacon, or Canadian bacon, whichever you prefer. And like I said, no meat. Let's put this up a little higher so it gets sizzling. In go the vegetables, celery, carrots, onions. I'm going to saute those. And that's what we want to hear. We want to hear that sizzling sound. We want to know that our heat up just the right level. Now, it's the time to add your garlic. Remember what I've taught you about layering? When you're adding ingredients and you're layering, this is the time to add your seasonings. So let's add some crushed black pepper. About 1/4 teaspoon. About 1 teaspoon of salt. This we're going to probably be adding as we go along. Saute the vegetables for about, and the ham for about 5 to 10 minutes before we add our liquids and our lentils. The vegetables are starting to get tender, and the ham is rendering whatever fat it has. And now I'm going to add the lentils, which have been drained. That's 1 pound of dried lentils. And my liquid is going to be water. That's 4 and a half. Okay, this is the last 4 cups. 1 can, 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. Some people use beef broth or chicken broth in place of the water, so you can do that too. It gives it a little bit more flavoring. Here goes the parsley. Going to add 1 bay leaf, which we'll take out before we serve it. Break that in half. And a little Italian seasoning. If you don't have Italian seasoning, some oregano and basil be fine. Just plain oregano, dried oregano. Remember, we're going to crush that to get the flavoring. Stir that through and put a lid on the pot. Turn it down to low and let that cook for about 45 minutes to an hour. Our lentil soup is done. It's been cooking on simmer for an hour to an hour and a half, and it's perfect. I corrected all the seasonings. I added more salt and more Italian seasoning, and now I'm going to puree some of the lentils with my hand blender. And I'm not going to puree all of it, just to have some of the lentils mashed up to give it even more flavor. And that's all it needs. This works really quick. It does a great job. You could also use a regular blender or your food processor if you want to puree the lentils. Perfect. Just the right consistency. You could also add frozen spinach to this, or baby spinach, fresh baby spinach, and let it simmer in there for a while, or cut up cooked pasta works great. I'm going to add a little shredded cheese. This is a 4-cheese blend, and just a little bit for extra flavoring, and there you go. Italian style lentil soup.